Amar Rava. Amar Rava. Chavav Amar Beis. Amar Rava, Meireish, originally at the beginning. I thought, I'm going to follow one finger on Rashi. There's a lot of words here that you need Rashi a little bit with. I might have thought, Hi Kursaya, that this bima are made of wood. I'm not going to say each time it's Rashi, but Rashi explains this Gemara blow by blow, Baruch Hashem. That I might have thought, Hi Kursaya, this bima of wood, tashmish tashmishu, is not a tashmish of kedusha that has to be hidden, but it's a secondary tashmish. That because you put on it, I know in my shul they do this, on top of the bima they put like a cloth. I think maybe in some bimas they put maybe a glass or a cloth and then a glass. But either way, it's not the bima that the Sefer Torah goes on. So I might think it's tashmish to tashmishu. It's a secondary kedusha, and therefore you wouldn't have to be nignazit. B'shari, it would be permissible to use it for something that wasn't holy. But even the chazina, once I saw the most ve'eluya, that sometimes they do place a Sefer Torah on it without a mappa. So the most ve'eluya Sefer Torah, I said tashmish to kedusha, that it's actually something that serves kedusha and it needs Geniza, it needs to be hidden, it can't be used for other things. V'asr, and it's prohibited. V'amar Rav, the first white line. V'amar Rav, Amereish, from the beginning, originally. I thought, high prisa, these curtains that they used to place in the inside of the aron, in the inside. I thought that since the curtain is for the aron, so it's tashmish to tashmishu. High prisa, tashmish to tashmishu. And therefore you don't have to be nignazit. But Kivin Chazina, once I saw the ifile that they used to fold it over under the Sefer Torah, Manchi Sifrei Luya, they put the Sefer Torah on it. Sometimes, I realized I said Tashmish Kedushu, that it's actual Tashmish Kedushu of Asr, and it's Asr to use. It needs Genizav. Amar Rav, and Rav said, Hi Tebusa, if you have an Aron Kodesh, the earpot that fell apart, Ma'avda Teba Zutrasi, you are allowed to make a small Aron Kodesh. If you make a small Aron Kodesh Shari, it's mutter. Kursaya, but to make a bima Asr, it's Asr because it's less Kedusha. Just to make a bima, you can't. But Amar Rav, and Rav said, Hi, Prisa Debala. If you have the curtains for the Aron that wore out. They wore out. They're not usable now for that. Lamav the prisa. If you want to make a prisa l'sifra, if you want to make like a mantle, like the cover for the Sefer Torah, shari, that's for sure permitted. You're going up in level and you don't need as much. The chumashim, but if you're just doing it for, we mentioned yesterday that instead of a Sefer Torah, they used to make like a sefer for just chumashim, like we have in a chumash Bereishis Shemos, like that. They used to have like a Sefer Torah just of those, but they weren't it's not as kadosh as a regular Sefer Torah. Doesn't have the same Kedusha. V'amar Rav, and Rav said, Hani zavili dechumshi, if they have a certain like sacks made of like hides that they use for the chumashim, for this sefer of chumashim, the kamtari, or a case, the sifri for a Sefer Torah, tashmish kedusha nenu. That's the actual tashmish of kedusha. V'nignazim, it has to be buried. In fact, the Gemara, can't be used. Pshita is obvious. That's what we said yesterday. It's a case of a Sefer Torah. And for the Gemara, Mao, the same I might have thought, Hani lab l'chvaydan avidan, that the l'chavod avidan, that really you didn't make it for the covet of the Sefer Torah, rather l'naturi ba'alma avid. It's meant to watch over the Sefer Torah, but it's not a covet. Kamashmal, no, it is, and therefore it's tashmish kedusha. Says Gemara Baita, Hubei Knesha, there was a shul, the Yehudi Ramay of the community of the Roman Jews, Davi Pasachlu Ijuna, right next to the shul, they used to have like the morgue, where the room where they used to bury, they used to keep the dead people when they died until the Levaya, and they used to prepare them for the Levaya in that area. So they had this room, Davi Pachis, they put in it the mace, all of a sudden a car of Kahanim came up, and they wanted to make a minyan, and they wanted to daven there. So they said, "What are we supposed to do?" And they wanted to daven there. Also, they came. They said to Rav, "What should we do?" Rav said to him, "Dalu, lift it up. Tevusa, take the ark that had right, and osve, and place it down in the doorway in between the shul and the morgue. The havli creates also lanachas, be considered a kli of wood that is not movable. They don't usually move the Aron Kodesh. So since it's not usually moved, if you put it in the doorway, it's not makabel tuma. And we're going to see in Rashi because, why? Because it's a hekesh to sak. That just like a sak is makabel tuma because it's moved while it's empty or full, so to an eitz has to be, in order to be makabel tuma, it has to be that it's moved when it's full or empty. And that wasn't the case by the Aron Kodesh. So therefore, it's two things. It's not makabel tuma, and it blocks the tuma, says Rashi. So therefore, havli klietz asul lenachas is a klietz. It's meant to be stationary. The klietz asul lenachas and a klietz is meant to be stationary. Ain't a makabel tuma. That's one, not Rashi, the Gemara. The chaytzis b'fnei tuma, and it stops. Rabban said to Rav, "There's a problem." Sometimes it seems that they used to have an Aron Kodesh that they used to also use as a bima sometimes. So they used to move it to use it as a bima. They used to put a Sefer Torah on it. They used to move it, Mali Varekam, full and empty. On that, Rabbi said, if that's true that they moved it, that means it's makabel tuma and it doesn't block the tuma. You guys are stuck. You have to make a minyan somewhere else. It's not possible. If you have the mantle of a Sefer Torah or the cloth that's used for a Sefer Torah, that it's unclear if it means the mantle or that they put under the Sefer Torah. Shabalu, if something that serves the Sefer Torah, they got worn out. You can make a clothing for someone who died. Since you have to bury it anyway, so then you make a clothing for the dead person. If the Sefer Torah itself got worn out, you could bury it with the Talmud Chacham. Even a lower level Talmud Chacham, says Rashi, that was not Meshamish Talmidei Chachamim in Shas and Gemara. He didn't learn how to dissect and learn the halachos deep in and the reasons behind it. El Mishnayos Ubraisos, he was more of a shallow learner where he got the basics. In Mishnayos and Braisos, even such a Talmud Chacham you could bury the Sefer Torah with. Amar Rav Bar Yaakov u'b'kli cheres, but make sure you bury the Sefer Torah in a kli cheres. Shenemar, like it says in Pasuk, v'nesatem cheres l'man yamdu yam rabin, like it says in Yirmiyahu, that you should bury it in a kli cheres so that it won't wear out when it's in the ground. Two more lines. Amar Papi Mishmei de Rava, mi beiknishtel be'Rabbanan shari. You're allowed to switch a shul into a beis medrash because you're going up in level, but mi be'Rabbanan lebeiknishtel, but a beis to a shul you can't. Alter, Rav Papa Rava Masi Yibcha, and Rav Papa and Rava said the opposite. He said that you're allowed to switch a beis medrash to a shul, but you're not allowed to switch a shul to a beis medrash. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for coming and listening.